Good morning, students. Let's begin with our first chapter, The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. In this chapter, Khushwant Singh has drawn a pen portrait of his grandmother. Pen portrait refers to a particular feature where a person, using certain words, describes another person or himself in such a manner that we get an image of that person in front of our eyes. And that becomes the pen portrait of a person. Here Khushwant Singh has described his grandmother in such a manner that we get an image of the grandmother in front of our eyes. And after reading the whole chapter, we understand that the grandmother had all the attributes of a lady. That's why the chapter has been titled The Portrait of a Lady. Now let's begin the chapter. Today we are going to do 2 paragraphs. Now in this chapter, he begins by describing the grandmother. And he says that my grandmother was old, like everybody's grandmother is. But he said that it was very tough for me to believe that my grandmother was once young, and too unbelievable that she was once a child also. So the first question that comes in our mind is, which thoughts about the grandmother were unbelievable for Khushwant Singh? And the answer is given in the first paragraph. And along with the grandmother, the grandfather also has been described. So let's read, and as we read, I'll explain you the lines and the meanings also. Let's begin. My grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. She had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. People said that she had once been young and pretty and had even had a husband, but that was hard to believe. My grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. He wore a big turban and loose-fitting clothes. His long white beard covered the best part of his chest, and he looked at least 100 years old. He did not look the sort of a person who would have a wife or children. He looked as if he could only have lots and lots of grandchildren. As for my grandmother being young and pretty, the thought was almost revolting. Now this expression has been highlighted. And the meaning of this expression is that this thought that the grandmother was once young and pretty was unbelievable for the author. She often told us of the games she used to play as a child. That seemed quite absurd and undignified on her part, and we treated it like the fables of the prophets she used to tell us. Fables are short stories that have a moral. And she used to tell the children short stories, and normally the children believed that those stories were fictional. So when she told the children that I was once a child, for the children it was unbelievable, and they thought that this is also a fictional story like the other stories of the prophets that the grandmother used to tell them. Now my very quick revision of 2 questions over here from this particular paragraph. The first question is, which thoughts about, what were the thoughts that the grandchild had about the grandmother? Now if we'll answer, we know that the grandmother was old and wrinkled. She had once been young and pretty, and one thought was very hard to believe for him, that the grandmother was once young and pretty and even a child. Then she used to play games as a child, and all these things the children used to believe that they are like fables. Now the second question that comes in our mind is about the grandfather. Now what were the author's thoughts about his grandfather? He saw his grandfather's portrait hung in the drawing room, and he saw the image that he wore a big turban, the loose-fitting clothes and all that, white beard and everything. And he looked as though he was just 100 years old and he could never be young. So there were the thoughts about the grandmother and the thoughts about the grandfather. Now let's begin para 2, and after that we are going to stop. Let's begin. Now this paragraph is going to tell us something about the appearance of the grandmother. And as you will read, you will find that the image of the grandmother comes in front of our eyes. So let's begin. She had always been short and fat and slightly bent. Slightly bent because of age. We know that when people grow old, they develop a stoop at the back, and sometimes they are bent. So here also the grandmother was stooped. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles running from everywhere to everywhere. No, we were certain she had always been as we had known her. Old, so terribly old that she could not have grown older, and had stayed at the same age for 20 years. You'll see again the same thought has been highlighted, that the author could not believe that the grandmother was once young. He has again highlighted, no, I have seen her old and she was old. Old, so terribly old that she could not have grown older and had stayed at the same age for 20 years. She could never have been pretty, but she was always beautiful. There is a difference between being pretty and being beautiful. People say that you are pretty when there is a particular age, but you are beautiful at any age, because that beauty brings a grace in you, a charm in you of that particular age. So he says and highlights very carefully here that he says that I could not believe that my grandmother was pretty, but he says that yes, she was always beautiful. She hobbled about the house. Hobbled means to move here and there very quickly. She hobbled about the house in spotless white. You can understand she was a widow, and that time it was essential for all widows to wear a white sari. She also used to wear white sari. House in spotless white with one hand resting on her waist to balance her stoop. You can understand she had a stoop at the back and one hand was on her waist to balance that stoop and the other telling the beads of her rosary. I hope all of you understand the expression telling the beads of the rosary. In practically all the religion they have rosary. In Hindi they say mala. And when they move the beads of the rosary, it is said that they are telling the beads of the rosary. Her silver locks, hair. Her silver locks were scattered untidily over her pale, puckered face, wrinkled, old, that sort of a face, and her lips constantly moved in inaudible prayer. One thing about the grandmother was there, that every day her lips, and every day in the whole day I should say, that her lips constantly moved in inaudible prayers. Yes, she was beautiful. She was like the winter landscape in the mountains. This line is very beautiful if you see it carefully. She was like the winter landscape in the mountain. Reason? We can understand she used to wear a white sari, she had white hair. So she looked like white snow-capped mountains. One reason is this, and another reason, just see the remaining sentence. Landscape in the mountains, an expanse of pure white serenity. Pure white, we can understand because she used to wear white sari and white hair she had. Serenity means calm, something that is calm, something that is peaceful, breathing peace and contentment. This is very important to understand. Contented, satisfied, and this is a quality which is very rare among people. The grandmother was satisfied with whatever was going around her and did not complain. Many people, after they cross a particular age, they keep on complaining with things around them. But the grandmother hardly complained about all those things. So I'll repeat this particular expression, just see it carefully. She was like the winter landscape in the mountains, an expanse of pure white serenity. So let's have a quick revision of the appearance of the grandmother. If you'll see the points, she had been short, fat, slightly bent, face a crisscross of wrinkles. Then she used to wear a white sari. She had white hair, one hand resting on her waist to balance the stoop, another telling the beads of the rosary, and she had been compared to the winter landscape in the mountains. So we are going to stop here after the word contentment. The next session will begin with the stages that were there between the grandmother and the grandchild and their changing relationships. So the remaining chapter is about how the relationship after few years, in the beginning how was it, and after few years how the relationship kept on changing. So I am giving you notes of this particular chapter. You have to copy down the notes in the copy the same manner in which I am giving you. Thank you.